Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good to have you here. Hey, thought I'd do a surprise stream. Yeah, I'm up early. Hello, Michelle, Sean, Tamara. Let's get the blood flowing. How's my hair? More importantly, what's new in the news? So we couldn't talk about this yesterday, but we get to talk about it now, which is awesome. You can see I'm right here. Adobe Design Mobile Bundle. So we just released this last night, so I think this is pretty cool, and I want to dive into it. So I got 30 minutes to kind of show you everything and give you a warm welcome. Hello, Tim, Tamara, Golden Roads, Sean, Jack Watson in the house. And if you're joining me elsewhere, hello to you. All right, fantastic. Let's go ahead and shift gears and check this out. I can always post this link as well, but let's dive into this because we have this is kind of the news. So basically what we did is if I can get it there, we put everything together. So I want to get into some of the details of this post. It's been a long minute. It's been like a day. You get me later today too. Everything's coming together for mobile creativity from Scott Belsky, right? So he is the man in charge of Creative Cloud. But he goes into a lot of details about things that we're adding to sort of the mobile apps. Animation coming to Adobe Fresco, which is pretty awesome. You could see it right down here. You could see this is actually done by one and only Kyle T. Webster. So that is coming and on its way, which is super cool. Okay, you'll be able to load your brushes onto Photoshop on the iPad. That's super exciting as well. So super cool. New things that you might not know about. So I'm going to get into each one of these. Rotate canvas. You're going to be able to see this stuff. So we're not just going to read a blog together, right? We're going to get into collaborative by default and everything that he talks about. And it's all in this design mobile bundle. So let's just kind of open up this real fast. And actually, let's just switch to my iPad. Right? So these are sort of all the design mobile apps under one little roof. You can see it right over here. It is zooming in, and this is what I'm just going to go ahead and do a crash course in and show you some of the new stuff that I usually do. Includes Photoshop on the iPad, Illustrator on the iPad, Fresco on iPad and iPhone. I don't know if you have Fresco on the iPhone, which is cool, and other apps, along with access to Adobe Fonts, Behance, Portfolio, 100 gigs of storage, $14.99 a month. I want to point this out really fast, by the way, Adrian and everyone, Sandrine. You're like, oh, 15 bucks a month. Like, this is, we ported the actual code base for Photoshop onto an iPad. So just because you're getting this smaller form factor with these little icons, don't think that it's not robust. Now, all the features aren't there yet, but it's gonna be like you pay 15 bucks a month for Illustrator, for Photoshop, for Fresco, and other apps, including Spark and stuff like that. So that's all, guys. That's all I wanted to say. There's more than just that, so let me just switch gears, because I'm gonna switch over to my iPad. Shablam, shablam. I'm so behind. I don't own an iPad Pro. Should I? Sure, you have two ways to do it. You can get, heaven forbid, I lose my... That's one thing you got to watch out for. You want to get an iPad Pro, and you want to get Apple Pencil. One problem with that is you could lose your Apple Pencil. But it's either going to be that or it's going to be a Wacom, right? So you could look at your Wacom Cintiqs, like maybe a 16-inch. You might get a larger form factor. It's going to be double the cost because you need to connect that Cintiq to a desktop. So that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna try to get this set up too, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Apologies. Let's make this look right. And let's turn off some of this other stuff. So anyways, so that's the short of it. Let's switch over. You can see you're either using a Cintiq right here with its, you know, pen, or you're using an iPad with Apple Pencil, which you'd think it's expensive, but it's still going to be cheaper than your Cintiq. That's all I wanted to point out, and that's a little bit behind the scenes, which is always fun to check out, right? Yeah, I know, boxes of books I need to put away. All right, so let's do this, huh? We're in here, Adobe Design Mobile Bundle. Here's all of our apps: Illustrator, Fresco, Photoshop, Spark, Post, Adobe Creative Cloud. So let's just like have some fun, shall we? Let's get in this. Let's do this dance. What? I've kind of reviewed this a little bit in the past. I still want to kind of point out some of the fun things I did. I lose my Wacom stylus anytime I put it in the standard. Yeah. Oh, Pauline. Oh. It always gives me a heart attack. If I'm missing this or this, I always have a minor heart attack. I'm always concerned I'm going to accidentally like throw it away. It's going to roll in the trash can. It's the worst. But right in it, over here, you can see you kind of draw, create what you want. This is an AI, an Illustrator Cloud document, an AIC, right? So that's what we mean when we say like cloud connected. This is always going to be synced up. So it's going to be on my desktop when I'm ready to use it. But let's turn off some of these graphics. Let's just kind of make sure everything's kind of locked down. And I kind of want to talk about like the interoperability between the two. All right, so we're missing one constellation right in here. Happens to be Capricorn, Capricornicus, which is what I am. But let's switch over. I'm just gonna switch to pencil, right? Nice smooth lines. We could always undo that, but let's go zoop, zoop, down like so. Let's bring this over like that, nice and smooth. I must say, it's so nice drawing with Apple Pencil on an iPad. It's just nice. Double tap, right? We can get rid of that Bezier point and make that like so and start to trim that up. So that's all I'm doing, right? Kind of getting that just right. A little pro tip as well, if you're using Illustrator on the iPad, let's group this. Like what I typically do, like even before drawing, if I want something to be the same thickness as these lines, just select it. Just by selecting it, it loads in that line thickness and color and all that good stuff. So then you can jump in and you'll get that same thickness when you start drawing, okay? So once you draw something like that, oh, did I actually do all that junk? Ungroup that. Click off of it. Shortcut keys, hold another shift key. If you go into app settings, by the way, we'll go into general, scale, strokes, and effects. That's something we don't want to do, but you could turn that on and off. So since it's not going to scale strokes and effects, right, you can see it's going to get thicker, but it's going to be the size that I want it at for this project, the same way this one is set up right. Oop. So again, grab that one, drop that over there. You get the idea. Cool. Down with the thickness. Who is that? Down with the sickness. Who sings that? Is it Limp Bizkit or someone like that? I don't know. I want to point out this too. So check this out. Like all these little dots, just so you know, these are all done with the dotted line, right? So there's dashed lines and then there's dotted lines. So that's all I did. Changed it, changed the length of the dash, right? Adjust the gap, right? And then we have that texture that I'm looking for. Cool. Chris Georginas is in the house. Chris and I were talking about how sometimes you work late at night and you have great results. Like Chris is amazing illustrator and animator. You know, not all nights are like that. But Chris showed me some pretty cool stuff, so look out for his Instagram. All right, so just keeping track of time, 8:40, cool. Or 7:40 Pacific time. Go in here to the Fontaruskis. Get a special font. In here you says, hey, you know, you can get it from Creative Cloud. I kind of like this one, to be honest with you. Oh, it's from Disturbed. That sounds like the name of the band it should be. That sounds like the correct name. Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. Very on brand. Chris could use some of that. Some coffee, I'm sure. So we can go into more fonts. We can see and sync them right in here. Let's not pick a brush one. Let's go into Futuristic. And again, just click any one of these. But like it says, we could jump out to, say, Creative Cloud and sync them to our device that way. All right. Michelle, how you doing? Sure, let's turn on push notifications. Done. Oh, all this new stuff. That's what it was basically saying. Hey, you got a bunch of new stuff in there. Let's do decorative. Let's add a sweet titling just to annoy everybody, because that is kind of an ugly font. I've mentioned this before. I mentioned this yesterday. You could use something like any font, and you're able to sync them from your desktop or external font sources. You can see right there. So there's that as well. Anyway. All right. I get to wake up and drink coffee. I know. I know. It's like one of the nice things about mornings, isn't it? Easier color pickup. We could do multicolor brushes, scroll to zoom, Photoshop, smaller Photoshop brushes, copy and paste, all sorts of things. And what's coming, which is going to talk about, oh, motion. There you go. Cool. Perspective drawing. I just kind of want to jump in here really fast because I'm thinking, you know what would be cool is if I just have a watercolor brush like so, right? Like that. And I'm thinking, okay, I could use this as the background. So let's do purple and pink, right? So I kind of want to do a color wash, right? And we'll just rename this color wash. The question is, like, how does Fresco work with Illustrator? Okay, so I might want to change out that background for something else. So that's kind of the tricky part, because in Fresco, this is a PSDC, and then in Illustrator, this is an Illustrator Cloud document. So that's kind of what you're going to want to run into. Magic Wand is greater than animation. You know why? Because one of them has the word magic in it, the other one doesn't. Okay, so right in here, let's go to Cloud. So this, I'm showing you how to work between Fresco and Illustrator. We can go to Cloud Documents, and there it is. There's Color Wash. So you actually have to import that PSDC, that Cloud document, right, in that way. So that's how you kind of have them work together. Did you ever use Fresco with your Cintiq? I don't think that is possible, just because it's not a desktop app. Okay, so it's taking a little bit of time to import, convert layers to objects, flatten to a single image, discard hidden layers. There it is. We could take that and kind of move that down right there. Oh, and looks like I put it on top of everything else. So let's cut it. Add a new layer. Paste. Shrink it down. And then put it behind. Again, just a real simple example of those two working together. You're using Fresco with Cintiq? Yeah, tell me about that. I would love to hear more. Maybe I'm missing out. I want a Fresco background to go into my library. Yeah, you kind of have to save those out individually. You might have to open them up on your desktop and then put them in your library, and then work with them that way. Okay. It is possible. Tell me, everyone. Tell me, how is it possible to use a Cintiq with Fresco? Okay, so we now have version history, make offline, and then a number of things. The loading brushes that I talked about a second ago, that's coming. Oh, you know, if you're using a Windows, one of the new Windows machines, then that is a way. So yeah, I was thinking Mac only. So here's a fun image. Since we're just kind of sticking with Capricorn, let's open this up. This is kind of the finished one, but let's turn that off. Because this is what I was working on recently too. It's like, okay, we have this cool ibex. Let's just go ahead, do a select subject there. So that's one button, select subject, bam. What do? We go in and we do refine edge down there at the bottom. Refine edge, let's change this to just on black. Zoom in and just kind of grab those extra little hairs. And the hairs on his little goatee. He doesn't have much of one. There's a little goatee there. We can just grab those extra hairs, maybe around the ears. Usually there's some there. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we can output this as a layer mask. Click done, boom, there we are. Boop. Cool. Thank you so much for that, Tim. We got fans of Adobe Bridge. I use Fresco on desktop with an XP pin. Nice. All right, so another quick little tip or trick is you could always take a layer and you can put them in a new layer folder. So let's just new empty group, right? Which is just a new folder, okay? Just called group 1. Now I can add a mask to that folder. So hopefully everyone sees that. Now I can start painting with a brush. Let's see what we got here. No, not hard round. I want a soft round pressure. Soft round. Something like that. Oh, too much. Shrink it down. And then just kind of paint right down below. Let's make it a little larger. Okay. But I'm just kind of blending those two images. I'm not destroying that first mask is all. You guys get the idea. Cool. Cool. That is done. Typically what I would do is I would probably put, I don't know. I would actually throw on an adjustment layer. That's going to be maybe curves, right? And I take the blues, right? Play with the blues. I would actually clip that to just that group 1, right? And then start playing with the brightness and contrast like that. Let's do the same thing for the tail. Adjustment layer. We could do it other ways. We could do color balance and stuff. Let's clip it. Oh, it has to be outside of that folder. There we go. So now we're playing with that tail. Switch to blue. You guys get the idea. All right. Done. That's Photoshop. That is Photoshop on the iPad. Just to remind everybody, this is just the new design bundle where we said, hey, let's just like put everything together and make it easy for you. For $15 US a month, you have all these wonderful apps. Fresco, Photoshop, Illustrator, and not to mention you have things like Spark Post that you could also use, which is like your easy button when it comes to design. That's what this is, right? So we could remix stuff. We could start with something in my library, grab an image, boom, and then work with it from there. So I won't get too far into Spark Post. You can kind of check that out for yourself. But this one, as I work on it, I can easily like remix it and add text to it and all that stuff. So here we go. We'll go to design. Boom, boom, boom. Just playing with different designs in good old Spark Post. All right, cool. Maribel, you're starting with your Wacom Cintiq Pro 16-inch. So far, everything drawn with my wonderful super mouse. Oh, is that what you call it? A super mouse? It sounds awesome. All right. Yeah, from there we can... Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't want you to forget about that Fresco. I'm not sure about the usage, which I'm totally curious about, but we have Fresco on the iPhone as well, which is awesome because that means you truly can like work everywhere. Because let's face it, you're gonna have your phone with you, and you don't always have your iPad or a 16-inch Cintiq Pro. But yeah, you're always going to have your good old iPad. Was my voice a little strong there? I think I might have had double audio going on. All right, boom, boom. Let's see what else we got. And what other... See, Scott will sneak things into his blog posts that it just like I look for it, and that means there's cues that I could talk about it. Invite to edit, we know about things like that. Yeah, okay. Anyways, let's go back in here. Like I was just saying, if we switch to my iPhone, if I dare. iPhone. Bam! There we are. This is Fresco. Right? Boom. And you could see the stuff I was apparently working on, which was not much. So, anyways, switch back. Here's this file. I can open that up. I can see I have that issue right there with the top portion. I gotta fix that. Boom. Done. Fixed. Again, PSDC. It's constantly being synced and saved and all that stuff. So yeah, the nice thing I think about Fresco on the iPhone is it's not, I wouldn't necessarily start and finish a design on my iPhone, but I'm able to work on little details and things for a design while I'm anywhere, while I'm like out and about and I'm like waiting for a coffee or something. I have that ability to kind of jump out there and work on it. Shameless self-promo time. Shame on me, but we're down to our last minute. From there, you know, again, taking that design, and this is what I just posted this morning, which was just kind of fun. I don't even know if it looks very good. This is one of those things Chris and I were talking about, like, I did this last night. I'm not sure if I like it. You're not noticing the connect between the tail and the ibex's head. So that's why I don't like it. It's like I felt like I cheated right there. But this was just taken into After Effects after working on it in Photoshop. So, yeah. All right. Put a crown on him. Oh, how awesome would that be? That's a great idea. Put a crown in between. Maybe it's on fire. That's what it needs. It needs a pop of like orange or yellow, some like warm colors to really bring it to life. I think you're exactly right. That's what it needs. And then when I switch back over, you can see this one's clearly too orange, reddish, a little too magenta, so I'd need to tweak that. So yeah, it kind of, your body needs to sway. So I think when your tail goes left, like, I don't know. I'm not a fish. Why do I think I know what to do? I don't know. I don't have a tail. I don't know which way they're supposed to go. But anyways, that's the design. the Adobe Design mobile bundle that you can get. And since we just launched it, I thought you guys should know about it since I didn't get to talk about it yesterday. Michael Bay approves of the blue. Throw some teal in there. Oh yeah, Michael Bay. Michael Bay blue. All right. Yeah, I'm into it. Thank you, everybody. I love you guys like the... Yeah, again, I'm making the subject match the scene was the goal. Okay, if I make it too different, it's not going to look the same. But that's why I like the idea of adding a source of warm and still having cool tones. I'll work on it some more. Again, we're all learning, and thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned. Valentina V's up next. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see ya.